Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Mundane Matt. And there are a number of people on YouTube that love to make fun of social justice warriors, all right, myself included. It's something we've been doing for years. And the reason why so many people are still doing it is because these idiots keep doubling the absolute fuck down. SJWs, the progressive left, they will never stop trying to make a big deal out of things that are literally fucking molehills. They want to turn everything into a goddamn, recreation of Mount fucking Everest. All right. And they're all up there on the top without any fucking oxygen, and it's very apparent. But the University of Central Florida is doing something this week that's really goddamn funny. It is the Social Justice Week. It's going to address racism, deportation, and all the other things involved. But it's a whole goddamn week. It ain't just like, a seminar. It ain't a lecture. It ain't like a quick little thing. It's a whole damn week dedicated to social justice, which means it's going to be a whole damn week of laughs on that fucking campus. But the kicker is not what's happening during the week. It's what's happening at the end of the week, where they will be unveiling and giving tours through the tunnel of oppression. That's right. Remember South Park and they had the tunnel of racism or tunnel of hatred, whatever it's called? It's pretty much like that, but run by a social justice warrior organization out of the University of Central Florida. So just kind of scrolling through the timeline of events here for the week, right? First thing up on Monday is going to be #triggered, racial battle fatigue, which the event description defines as the psychological and physical symptoms that many people of color experience due to various direct and indirect forms of racism. Physical symptoms of indirect racism. I break out in hives if I'm in the sun for too long, but I don't look at the sun and go, "You fucking anti-white cocksucker." It's just I have a skin issue. A little bit of fucking lotion clears that right the fuck up. The point is, it's just Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, right off the bat, they're pulling the victim card. The next day, students are invited to attend a Breaking Barriers lunch, during which they will engage in what it truly means to create a community, along with classmates and colleagues. Okay. So they're gonna sit there and they're gonna have a lunch, right? Probably provided by the school or by the club, and they're going to be talking about what it means to create a fucking community. Except here's the thing with that community. Communities are usually created by open discourse, open dialogue, and just discussions, right? Opposing viewpoints coming together, all for the aspect of progressing the community forward to the future, right? So true equality, egalitarianism, all that kind of jazz. They don't want that. Because what they're really going to be doing is talking about creating an echo chamber. So it really should just be echo chamber lunches, because that's pretty much what it is. And on Wednesday, it's #TheRealSelfie, where students will have the chance to rip the label society places on you off and share your truth. Why do I get the feeling is this going to be an excuse for kids to get naked and then take pictures of themselves and share it online? Because, that's what the kids are doing these days on Snapchat, I guess. Why is there so much porn on Snapchat? But that's a subject for another video. Thursday's event is dubbed Undocumented and Uncertain, promises a dialogue on the ramifications of Trump's elections for illegal immigrant students. What's funny about this, though, too? Obama wasn't the best when it came to illegal immigrants, right? Like, his administration deported millions of people. Millions of people. When the DREAM Act failed, Obama just went on a gigantic boot everybody out spree. So, Trump is way more like socially liberal than people give him credit for. And I know, like, right now, as he's getting I don't like everything the guy has to say, but yeah, this is, again, one of those things where people are going to be like, they're going to come for my babies. No, they're not. It's like, if you're here illegally, then you're here illegally, and you got to go. And that's just the way a lot of people see it. Do I think there need to be easier roads to immigration? Absolutely, but it's like, still, I don't think the wall is going to happen. Not the way Trump wants it to. right? But anyway, okay, that's going to be a bunch of people freaking out, spreading fear and more hyperbole. And then down here we come to Friday, where the tunnel of oppression is. Now I could read you this quick little snippet or show you guys the actual description of it, because that little snippet doesn't do it justice. So what is the tunnel of oppression? Well, the tunnel of oppression is an interactive tool that allows students, faculty, and staff to understand various types of oppression that marginalized groups often face. The purpose of this nationwide event is to educate and challenge thoughts and perceptions about topics related to oppression, power, and privilege. Participants will experience topics related to hazing, mental health stigma, heterosexism, domestic violence, ethnocentrism, body positivity, and racism. They're gonna experience topics related to hazing. Hazing's been illegal for a while now. Mental health stigma. Okay, that one I agree with, because I do feel there's a lot of stigma around mental health and something that should be looked at. Heterosexism. Is that going to be like what people who are straight, like, and they get harassed for being straight? I mean, a lot of social justice warriors like to completely and immediately discount any and all opinions from straight people. So that's heterosexism, right? Because when they say, oh, you're a straight white male, you don't know shit. Well, you're now being sexist and racist. Ethnocentrism, that's an interesting one. Body positivity, oh, dear God. The fat activists are there. And racism. All right, so I really wonder if they're going to walk people through there and just have, and it's just going to be nothing but white kids inside this tunnel hurling insults at you as you walk through. Like it's going to be some kind of weird social justice warrior hazing platform itself. Because that's kind of what it feels like to me, right? Because what they're doing is they're going to go in there and they're going to use guilt as a way to shape and mold these young kids' minds, right? Because guilt never backfires on people, ever. All right? I mean, never, ever. So something like this, I mean, if I lived in Florida, I would probably go try to check it out, just because I'd be curious to see what they got to offer. But then again, I might show up and they'd be like, "You're a straight white man. You can't come in here. You can't be in part of this," right? So I can't see I can't see from your perspective what's going on. That's fucked up. Okay, it says who should participate? Students, faculty, staff who are interested in challenging themselves and learning to think critically about various forms of oppression. Or basically the oppression that they tell you that they're facing, when in reality, you could be like, a lot of that shit's probably made the fuck up. All right, what will you learn? Those who participate will learn about some of the different forms of oppression that exist, as well as the role that power and privilege plays. Participants will gain a greater understanding of how oppression affects marginalized groups. You know, it's been many, many, many years of social justice warriors out there and these kind of programs and these kind of things. And, you figure at this point in time, they'd have kind of a locked down curriculum for what they believe is marginalized activities and oppression. You figure at this point, they would have a standard syllabus for what they wanted to teach, and so I just find it funny that it's always these new and inventive ways to guilt you into these discussions instead of just approaching it from a rational perspective. Oftentimes you learn a lot more by listening, and then trying to verbally assault somebody. But of course, these SJWs, these guys, these kids, they don't want to hear an alternate opinion. They don't want to have that kind of discussion. God forbid you're a contrarian. You're liable to get fucking stoned to death. How will you learn? Participants will be guided through a series of scenes that each portray one example of how oppression may be experienced. The scenes aim to educate and challenge participants to think more deeply about issues of oppression, power, and privilege. While the situations encountered may make some uncomfortable, the tunnel is designed to engage emotions and make participants think critically about what is experienced in the room. After completing the tunnel, there will be opportunities to explore ways to address and improve upon the presented issues of oppression. There will also be an opportunity to debrief what was experienced. So essentially, they're going to take kids through this tunnel of oppression, okay? They're going to make them experience various forms of oppression. And then if those kids can't handle what they saw, there will be an opportunity for essentially a grief counselor to talk with them afterward, right? Oh wow, special snowflake syndrome out the fucking ass there. Oh, these are fucking great. These are great. This isn't even outside. It's a Pegasus ballroom, which makes me think it's not really a tunnel. It's like a stage play. That's probably what it is, right? They should actually have a tunnel. But then again, there might be people there who are claustrophobic and they don't want to be triggered and everything else. So they probably won't do that. But Jesus Christ, this is the kind of shit that kids are spending like $30,000, $40,000 a year to go to these kind of schools to learn this kind of shit. Look, you want to talk about problems in the world, by all means, talk about problems in the world. But the thing is, you're not going to be able to help anybody else until you help yourself. And that is one of the truest facts out there. You're not able to benefit anybody unless you're able to help yourself first, right? Because how can you expect to look after them if you yourself are needing help from somebody else? It just creates this system of dependence. It creates the system of people who feel used and abused by a system they don't fully understand because a person teaching them doesn't understand it either. It's this really kind of fucked up path down. Instead of teaching people to think for themselves, to think critically, to apply themselves, to apply for jobs, to reach for those bigger, better paychecks, and everything else. And that's the biggest problem I have with these kind of courses, is that they're not teaching you to be self-sufficient. They're not teaching you that at all. They're teaching you to really kind of worry more about other people than yourself. And that's not necessarily a negative thing, right? But like I said, you cannot help somebody until you've helped yourself. And and that's something that these kids, when they're in college, they don't know that yet. They don't understand that yet. But what this social justice week is aimed to do is more or less just create a week of what about me and that kind of mentality. And that is not going to benefit these kids. It's not, right? What you should do is have a week of opposing viewpoints battling it out, right? Old school hardcore college debate. Each person picks a topic, or and then they go and they research that topic, or they take the pro or the con approach. And then they have that debate in a public space and people can see what either side would say to each other. And then use that to open their own dialogue with their friends or their family. Like, that's a solid learning experience. Here, they're just telling you that if you're probably a straight white male, you're the problem, which is one of the biggest complaints I have from these kind of organizations, because that is the kind of shit they pull. They just aim to blame people instead of actively trying to educate them and help them become better people. They just want to point the finger and go, it's all your fault, nothing I do. It's all you. And that's why making fun of these kind of people is still a big thing on YouTube, because they're not going to stop. And honestly, neither are we. But the only thing we can hope for from this is that someone in the middle finds a rational, well thought out discussion, talking about these issues, and they stop and they go, maybe I should take the time to learn as much as I can from all sides. And then I can make an educated, rational, logical decision. And but at the same time, that's a long shot. But it's people have told me. Real quick thing, I'll end this out. I was at Comic-Con last summer talking to some friends of mine, and I was approached by this couple, and we were talking for a second. The guy was a big fan, and then I took a picture with him and whatnot. And as they're walking away, his girlfriend turns around and she's like, "Hey Matt," and I turned around and said, "Hey, what's up?" And she just goes, "I just want you to know, because of your videos, I stopped being a feminist," right? And that was an impactful moment in my life, because I never really sought out to change anyone's opinions. I'm just espousing my own. But here is a woman in a nerd environment, by the way, Comic-Con, right? Big pop culture event. And she says loudly and openly, and by the way, she's black. She said it loudly and openly. And it was like this, like, wow, like that moment of like, that is cool, because at that moment it's like, and I looked at my two friends and they were like, damn. And I'm like, I know, seriously, because that's when that like logic and rationality have kind of triumphed in that situation. And that's why that moment is one of my all-time favorite moments, because I'm not trying to be a douche about it or nothing, but like my opinion on it is, you're changing people's opinions by discussing it to them in a way that is as even keeled as humanly possible, and not coming at them from the position of you're wrong, you're the problem, or you're a victim. And that is why the tunnel of oppression is horseshit. It's teaching kids that they're the victim, or that they are the aggressor. When and the truth of it is, if they're going to University of Central Florida, they're not either one. All right, everyone, that wraps up this video. My name is Mundane Matt. Be sure to give it a thumbs up, comment below, subscribe if you're new, check back daily for more content from me, or if you want to know about my life, check out Mundane Chats, or top 5 videos that are awesome as fuck, forbidden knowledge right here. Talk to you guys later, have yourself a good day, and peace out.